Admiral Jake Harrison stood in the command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. The huge screens around him showed stars and planets across the galaxy. But today, they showed something that made his blood run cold. The alien message played, again. A tall creature that looked like a giant bug spoke in perfect English. Its voice was cold and mean. Humans of Earth, you have grown too fast. You have built too many ships. You have spread to too many worlds. This breaks our laws. The creature's name was Ambassador Zethkar. It spoke for something called the Galactic Council. Jake had never heard of them until 3 days ago. Now they wanted to control Earth. You have 72 hours, the alien continued. Give us your ships. Leave your colonies. Let us rule you. If you do not, we will destroy you. Captain Lisa. Barnes watched the message with Jake. She had been Earth's top diplomat for 10 years. She had tried to talk with these aliens for months. They would not listen to reason. They think we're just another weak species, Lisa said. Every other race in the galaxy gave up without a fight. Jake nodded. The Council had ruled space for 3,000 years. 40 different alien races followed their orders. No one had ever said no to them. Until now. President Alex Mitchell called an emergency meeting. All of Earth's military leaders gathered in the war room. General Ryan Cooper spread out charts showing Earth's defenses. The numbers are not good, General, Cooper said. They have hundreds of thousands of ships. We have 1,500 at most. Dr. Maya Johnson had studied alien technology for years. She was the smartest person Jake knew when it came to understanding how alien minds worked. I've looked at their history, Dr. Johnson said. Every species they conquered surrendered immediately. They're not used to fighting real wars. They just show up and demand surrender. What makes them think we're different? President Mitchell asked. Because we are different, Jake replied. We went from horse-drawn carts to spaceships in 200 years. Most alien species take 10,000 years to do that. The room fell quiet. Everyone knew what this meant. Humans learned fast. They adapted quickly. They never gave up. These were the things that scared the aliens. Captain Kevin Turner entered the room. He commanded the EDF Valiant, one of Earth's newest ships. Sir, we're detecting Council scout ships near Mars. They're getting into position. They're already planning our defeat, Lisa said. They think this is over before it starts. President Mitchell stood up. He looked tired but determined. What are our options? We can surrender and hope they treat us well, General Cooper said, or we can fight and probably die. There's a third option, Jake said. Everyone looked at him. We can fight and win. How? President Mitchell asked. By being human, Jake replied. They expect us to act like every other species, line up our ships and fight fair. But we don't fight fair. We fight to win. Dr. Johnson pulled up files on her computer. I've been studying their technology. It's very advanced but also very predictable. They build everything the same way. They think the same way. They've been doing things the same way for thousands of years. And humans? Lisa asked. Humans change. Humans adapt. Humans surprise people. President Mitchell walked to the window. He could see the lights of Denver in the distance. Millions of people lived normal lives down there. They had no idea that their whole world might end in 3 days. What do you need? He asked Jake. Give me command of all Earth's forces. Let me fight this war my way. You'll have whatever you need, the president said. Jake turned to his team. Kevin, get your ship ready. I want you watching their movements. Lisa, try to contact other alien species. Maybe some of them want to be free too. Maya, keep studying their technology. Find weaknesses. What about you? General Cooper asked. I'm going to prepare Earth for war. The next day, President Mitchell spoke to the world. People in every country watched their TVs and computers. The president explained about the aliens and their demands. They want us to give up our freedom, President Mitchell said. They want us to become their slaves. They think we will surrender because every other species did. The camera moved closer to the president's face. They don't know humans very well. Around the world, people began preparing. Factories that made cars started making weapons. Scientists who studied medicine began studying alien technology. Farmers who grew food began growing supplies for the military. Captain Amy Rodriguez commanded a squadron of fighters on the moon. She watched council ships moving into position around Earth's solar system. There were so many of them. "Are we really going to fight all of them?" her co-pilot asked. "We're going to try," Amy replied. On Mars colony, Colonel Ben Carter prepared his defenses. He had been building secret weapons for months. The council thought Mars was just a small research base. They had no idea it was actually a hidden fortress. Dr. Johnson made a discovery in her lab. She had figured out how to modify human weapons to work better against alien ships. The aliens built their ships to withstand certain types of attacks. But humans could change their weapons to be different types of attacks. "This could work," she told Jake over the radio. "We can hurt them more than they expect." Jake stood on the bridge of his command ship, the EDF Liberty. Through the windows he could see Earth, blue and beautiful and full of life. The aliens wanted to take it away. "Not today," he said quietly. The 72 hours were almost up. Soon the aliens would attack. They expected to find a scared species ready to surrender. Instead, they would find humans ready for war. Jake opened a communication channel. His message would reach every human ship and base in the solar system. "This is Admiral Harrison to all Earth Defense Forces. The aliens think they know us. They think we'll give up without a fight. They're about to learn they're wrong." He paused, looking out at the stars. "Today we show the galaxy what humans are made of. Today we fight for our freedom. Today we fight for our future." The countdown reached 0. Somewhere in space, alien commanders were probably surprised that Earth had not surrendered. Jake smiled. The surprise was just beginning. Commander Zara Phillips watched from Mars colony as the first alien ships appeared. They came out of hyperspace like huge metal whales, slow and confident. The Council battlecruisers were massive, each one bigger than a city block. The aliens expected to find helpless humans hiding in their buildings. Instead, they found Colonel Ben Carter waiting for them. "Fire!" Ben shouted. Hidden weapons all over Mars opened up at once. Missiles shot out from fake rocks. Laser cannons rose from underground bunkers. Fighter ships burst out of camouflaged hangars. The alien ships had shields, but they weren't ready for such a coordinated attack. 3 Council battlecruisers exploded in the first minute of fighting. "This is Mars colony to Earth Command," Ben reported. "First blood goes to us." Admiral Jake Harrison smiled when he heard the news. The war had begun exactly as he hoped. The aliens expected easy victories. Instead, they found humans who fought back. "All ships, execute Plan Delta," Jake ordered. From his command ship, the EDF Liberty. Human ships across the solar system began moving, but they didn't group together for one big battle like the aliens expected. Instead, they split up into small groups. Each group had a different target. Captain Amy Rodriguez led her fighter squadron toward a Council supply ship near Jupiter. The alien vessel was huge, but had very few weapons. It was designed to carry supplies, not fight battles. "Remember," Amy told her pilots, "hit fast and get out. Don't try to be heroes." The human fighters attacked like angry bees. They were much smaller than the alien ship, but they were also much faster. The Council ship tried to turn its weapons toward them, but it was too slow. Amy's squadron destroyed the supply ship in minutes. Then they disappeared into the asteroid belt before alien reinforcements could arrive. Lieutenant Commander Chris Evans discovered something important during the fight near Titan. His ship, the EDF Ranger, was facing a Council destroyer twice its size. But when both ships started shooting, something unexpected happened. The alien ship was powerful but clumsy. It could hit hard, but it took a long time to aim. Chris's ship was smaller but much quicker. It could dodge and turn and attack from different angles. "It's like fighting a giant with the reflexes of a turtle," Chris reported to Jake. This news spread quickly through the human fleet. The aliens had big ships with big guns, but they were slow. Humans had learned to build fast ships from centuries of naval warfare on Earth's oceans. Dr. Maya Johnson was busy in her laboratory on Earth. She had captured pieces of alien technology from the first battles. When she studied them, she found something interesting. Their technology is very advanced, she told Jake over the radio. But it's also very standardized. Every alien ship is built exactly the same way. They never change their designs. What does that mean for us? Jake asked. It means once we figure out how to hurt one of their ships, we can hurt all of them. Dr. Johnson had already figured out how to improve human weapons using alien technology. Captain Laura Stone was testing the new weapons on her ship, the EDF Hammer. Power output is up 30%, Laura reported after firing at an asteroid. These new weapons pack a real punch. But the best news came from an unexpected source. The alien news broadcast that Dr. Johnson had learned to decode showed something amazing. The council species were worried. For thousands of years they had never seen a species fight back. The idea that someone might resist their demands was completely new to them. Some alien planets were actually debating whether the council was still strong enough to protect them. Admiral Kai Morrison led the first major human counterattack at Proxima Centauri. The council had sent 3 battle groups to capture the human colony there. They expected to arrive and demand surrender. Instead, they found Kai waiting with a mixed force of human ships and modified alien weapons they had captured. "This is Admiral Morrison to all council forces," Kai broadcast. "You came to the wrong neighborhood." The battle lasted 6 hours. When it was over, all 3 council battle groups were destroyed or captured. The human colony was safe, and Earth now had enough captured alien ships to equip an entire fleet. But the real prize was the supply depot they captured intact. Dr. Johnson's team found alien star charts, communication codes, and technical manuals. For the first time, humans could see how big the Council's empire really was. 43 species, Dr. Johnson reported. Some of them have been under Council control for thousands of years. They probably don't even remember what freedom looks like. Captain Nina Brooks was studying the captured alien files when she found something that changed everything. Deep in the communication records, she found messages between different alien species. Some of them were not happy with the Council's rule. Some of them had tried to rebel before but failed because they were alone. Some of them were watching the human war with great interest. "Jake, you need to see this," Nina said. She showed him intercepted messages from a species called the Zalari. They lived in a star system near human space. Their messages talked about humans with admiration and hope. "They want to be free," Nina said. "They just don't know how." Jake studied the messages. Maybe it's time they learned. The war was changing. What started as Earth defending itself was becoming something bigger. Other alien species were starting to believe that the Council could be beaten. On Earth, President Mitchell addressed the nation again. "Our brave men and women in space have shown the galaxy that humans don't surrender. We've won battles that nobody thought we could win." The president paused, looking directly into the camera. "But this is bigger than just Earth now. There are other species out there who want to be free. Maybe it's time we helped them." Around the world, humans were already working on new ships and new weapons. Factories ran day and night. Scientists worked around the clock. Everyone wanted to do their part. Captain Rodriguez returned from another successful raid. Her squadron had destroyed 2 more Council supply ships and captured a small cruiser. The aliens were starting to guard their supply lines better, but humans were learning to be even more creative. "They're getting scared," Amy reported. "You can see it in how they move their ships. They're not as confident as they were a week ago." Jake looked at the tactical displays showing the positions of all the ships in the solar system. The Council still had more ships than Earth, but they were spread out and confused. They didn't know where the next human attack would come from. "Signal all task force commanders," Jake ordered. "Phase 2 begins now." The aliens had come to Earth expecting a quick victory over a weak species. Instead, they had found humans who fought with courage, intelligence, and determination. The Council was about to learn that threatening humanity was the biggest mistake they had ever made. The real war was just beginning. Agent Dale Price crept through the dark corridors of Kepler Station. The space station was supposed to be a Council diplomatic outpost, but Dale had discovered it was something much more sinister. Dale was Earth's best spy. He could speak 12 alien languages and had spent months learning to disguise himself as different alien species. Tonight, he was dressed as a Karathi trader, complete with fake scales and a tail. In the station's central computer, Dale found files that made his blood run cold. The council didn't just rule other species through fear. They kept detailed records on every member race, making sure none of them ever became too advanced or too independent. They're not just conquerors, Dale whispered into his hidden communicator. They're slave masters. The files showed how the council worked. Whenever a species showed signs of becoming too smart or too strong, the council would create a crisis. They would force that species to depend on council protection. Over thousands of years, entire civilizations had forgotten how to think for themselves. Captain Nina Brooks was on a secret mission of her own. She had taken a small fast ship to the Zalari home system. The Zalari were one of the species Dale had found in the council files. They had been enslaved for 3,000 years. Nina's ship looked like a broken freighter drifting through space, but hidden inside were some of Earth's most advanced communication devices. She was trying to make contact with Zalari resistance fighters. For 2 days, nothing happened. Then a small Zalari patrol ship approached her vessel. Unknown ship, you are in restricted space, came the radio message. My ship is damaged, Nina replied in the Zalari language. I need help. There was a long pause. Then the Zalari ship docked with hers. 3 Zalari came aboard Nina's ship. They looked like large lizards walking on 2 legs. Their leader, Commander Feltar, studied Nina carefully. You are human, he said finally. The species that fights the council. Nina nodded. We want to talk. Feltar's eyes grew wide. It is dangerous to even speak such thoughts. The council has spies everywhere. The council has lied to you, Nina said. She showed him pictures of the battles around Earth. They can be beaten. For the next several hours, Feltar told Nina the true history of his people. The Zalari had once been great explorers and scientists, but the council had slowly taken away their technology, their freedom, and their hope. We have tried to resist before, Feltar said sadly. But we are alone. The council is too strong. You're not alone anymore, Nina replied. Meanwhile, Dr. Elena Martinez was making discoveries that would change everything. She was working with alien scientists in the territories that humans had liberated from council control. Look at this, Dr. Martinez said, showing her research to the alien scientists. Most species develop technology very slowly. You think carefully about each step. You make sure everything is safe and perfect. The aliens nodded. This was how they had always done things. But humans are different, Dr. Martinez continued. We try things quickly. We make mistakes and learn from them. We take risks. One of the alien scientists, a creature that looked like a walking crystal, spoke up. This is why the council fears you. You change too fast for them to control. Dr. Martinez smiled. Exactly. And now we can teach you to change fast, too. The first major breakthrough came when Admiral Seth Parker negotiated with the Karathi Empire. The Karathi were different from most council species. They had never fully surrendered. Instead, they had made a deal to serve the council in exchange for keeping some of their independence. Fleet Commander Thessara met with Admiral Parker on a neutral space station. She was tall and proud, with golden skin and 6 arms that moved like a dancer's. My people are tired of serving the council, Thessara said. But we need proof that you can really win this war. Parker showed her recordings of recent human victories. He also shared Dr. Martinez's research on rapid technological development. We can teach you our military tactics, Parker said. You can teach us your shield technology. Together, we'll be stronger than either of us alone. Thessara was quiet for a long time. Finally, she spoke. If we do this, there is no going back. The council will try to destroy us. They're already trying to destroy all of us, Parker replied. At least this way, we fight back. The Karathi alliance changed everything. Their shield technology was centuries ahead of anything humans had developed. But when combined with human weapons and tactics, it created ships that were nearly unstoppable. General Ryan Cooper established training centers where human instructors worked with alien officers. The results were amazing. Alien species that had been peaceful for thousands of years learned to fight with human aggression and creativity. The Vorthak were natural soldiers, but they had forgotten how to think strategically. Human training taught them to use their natural strength in new ways. The Kalari had incredible natural senses, but they had never used them for warfare. Human instructors showed them how to become the galaxy's best reconnaissance specialists. Captain Amy Rodriguez led the first joint human-alien military operation. Her squadron included human fighters, Zelari scouts, and Karathi heavy cruisers. Their target was a Council supply base in the Altair system. It was supposed to be heavily defended. "Remember," Amy told her mixed squadron, "we each have different strengths. Use them together." The attack was perfect. Zelari scouts found the hidden defenses. Human fighters attacked with lightning speed. Karathi cruisers provided heavy support. The Council base was captured without losing a single ship. News of the victory spread across the galaxy faster than light. Species that had never dreamed of fighting back began sending secret messages to human commanders. But the Council's response was swift and terrible. Elder Zethkar, the same alien who had delivered the original ultimatum to Earth, ordered a brutal punishment. Council forces attacked New Geneva Colony, while most of Earth's fleet was away fighting. 2 million human civilians died in the attack. The Council broadcast the destruction across the galaxy as a warning. The massacre had the opposite effect from what the Council intended. Instead of scaring other species into submission, it made them angry. "They kill civilians to make a point," Veltar said during a meeting with human commanders. "This is why we must fight them." President Mitchell announced the formation of the Free Species Alliance. Earth would serve as the military coordinator, but every member species would have an equal voice in decisions. Within weeks, 12 species had secretly joined the rebellion. The Morganti brought crystal-based weapons technology. The Yalara contributed their knowledge of Council communication systems. The Reth shared their expertise in ship construction. Each species brought something unique to the Alliance, but they all brought the same thing too: a desperate desire for freedom. Dr. Johnson studied reports from across the galaxy. "The Council ruled through fear and isolation," she told Admiral Harrison. "They kept species apart so they couldn't work together. Now that we're united, their whole system is falling apart." Jake looked at the star maps showing Alliance territory. It was still small compared to the Council's empire, but it was growing every day. "How long until we're strong enough to challenge them directly?" he asked. "Maybe 6 months," Dr. Johnson replied. "But Jake, there's something else. I've been analyzing Council communications. They're panicking. They've never faced anything like this before." The war had changed from Earth's desperate defense to a galaxy-wide revolution. Hundreds of billions of beings across dozens of worlds were choosing freedom over safety. The Council had ruled for 3,000 years by convincing everyone that resistance was impossible. Humanity had proven them wrong. Now the entire galaxy was learning that sometimes the impossible is just waiting for someone brave enough to try. Admiral Jake Harrison stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the greatest space battle in galactic history unfold before him. The Battle of Wolf 359 would decide whether the Free Species Alliance could really challenge the Council's power. 8 different alien species fought alongside humans in the massive fleet. Karathi heavy cruisers with their golden shields sailed next to human destroyers. Zelari scout ships darted between massive Morganti crystal ships that sparkled like diamonds in space. "All ships, this is Admiral Harrison," Jake broadcast to the entire fleet. "Today we show the galaxy that freedom is stronger than fear." The Council fleet was twice as large, but Jake had learned something important over the past year of fighting. Size didn't always matter in space combat. What mattered was how well your ships worked together. The Council ships all looked the same and moved in predictable patterns. They had been designed to intimidate, not to fight real battles. The Alliance fleet was a mix of different technologies and different ways of thinking. Captain Laura Stone commanded the engineering vessel EDF Hammer. Her ship didn't look like much, but it carried the most important weapon in the fleet: knowledge. Laura's engineering teams had revolutionized space warfare by learning from every species in the Alliance. Human mechanics worked alongside Karathi, shield specialists, and Vorthak armor experts. Council ships need 3 hours of maintenance after every battle, Laura reported. Our ships can keep fighting for weeks. This wasn't just about technology. It was about philosophy. The Council believed in perfection and following rules. Humans believed in making things work, even if they weren't perfect. Dr. Maya Johnson had made the most important discovery of the war in her research laboratory on Earth. She had been studying captured Council leaders, trying to understand how their minds worked. They can't innovate, she explained to Jake over a secure communication line. Their brains are wired differently. They can improve existing ideas, but they can't create truly new ones. What does that mean for us? Jake asked. It means every time we do something unexpected, they have to completely rethink their strategy, and that takes them a very long time. Commander Zara Phillips proved Dr. Johnson's theory during a daring raid on the Council's main communication hub at Vega Prime. Zara led a team of Alliance hackers and infiltration specialists on what everyone thought was a suicide mission. The Council had protected Vega Prime with every defense they could imagine, but they had imagined defenses against traditional attacks. They hadn't imagined humans arriving in disguised garbage ships or Kalari, using their natural electromagnetic abilities to disable security systems. We're in, Zara reported from inside the communication center. Downloading everything. The intelligence they captured changed the war. The Alliance learned that the Council's military strength was mostly an illusion. They had thousands of ships, but most of them were old and poorly maintained. The Council had been ruling through fear, not actual power. Even more important, the hack revealed which Council species were secretly unhappy with their leadership. The Morganti Confederacy was the first to openly rebel. President Mitchell received the Morganti Declaration of Independence in his office in Washington. The crystal-based aliens had been loyal Council members for 2,000 years. Their rebellion sent shockwaves across the galaxy. If the Morganti can break free, anyone can, Captain Nina Brooks observed during a strategy meeting. The Morganti brought more than just moral support to the Alliance. Their crystal technology, combined with human weapons design, created a new type of warship that was devastatingly effective. General Cooper's joint training programs were producing amazing results. The first generation of alien officers trained by humans were graduating from military academies across Alliance space. These new officers thought like humans but fought with their species' natural advantages. Commander Cathal, a Vorthak who could survive in the vacuum of space, led the galaxy's first zero-atmosphere boarding teams. Captain Yil Essa, a Kalari with natural electromagnetic senses, revolutionized electronic warfare. We're not just teaching them human tactics, General Cooper reported. We're teaching them to think creatively. Every species is finding new ways to use their abilities. Captain Kevin Turner discovered the Council's greatest weakness during the siege of Barnard Star. His ship, the EDF Valiant, was part of a mixed Alliance task force facing a Council battle group. The Council commander tried to coordinate his fleet using traditional formations and battle plans, but Turner's force kept changing tactics mid-battle. Human ships would suddenly switch from defense to attack. Zalari scouts would appear from unexpected directions. Karathi cruisers would modify their shield frequencies without warning. They can't adapt fast enough, Turner reported. Every time we change our plan, it takes them 20 minutes to figure out a response. The Council fleet at Barnard Star eventually retreated, something that hadn't happened in over 1,000 years. The psychological impact was enormous. Council species across the galaxy began questioning their leaders' invincibility. Back on Earth, President Mitchell was dealing with a different kind of victory. The planet's factories were producing more ships and weapons than ever before, but they were also producing something more valuable: hope. Messages from oppressed species arrived daily, asking to join the Alliance. Each new member brought unique capabilities and knowledge. The Jalari contributed their expertise in faster-than-light communication, The Tetherac shared their knowledge of biological weapons that could disable Council ships without destroying them. The Zelnara provided detailed maps of Council territory. Admiral Kai Morrison commanded the Liberation Fleet that freed the outer human colonies. Each victory brought more species into the rebellion and provided more resources for the war effort. But Elder Zethkar wasn't finished. Intelligence reports suggested the Council was preparing something terrible, a weapon capable of destroying entire star systems. They call it the Dominion's Fist, Agent Dale Price reported from deep inside Council territory. It's a mobile space, station the size of a small moon. They're planning to use it against Earth. The news sent chills through the Alliance leadership. They had been winning the war through superior tactics and coordination, but a planet-killer weapon could end everything in minutes. Dr. Elena Martinez worked frantically with scientists from 12 different species to find a weakness in the superweapon. The schematics Dale had stolen showed a vessel built with the best technology from 40 Council species. It's their ultimate expression of power, Dr. Martinez said, but it's also their ultimate weakness. How so? Jake asked. Because it represents everything wrong with their way of thinking. It's huge, it's expensive, it's complicated, and it requires perfect coordination to operate. One mistake, and the whole thing falls apart. Jake studied the tactical displays showing the movement of Council fleets across the galaxy. They were all converging on one location, the Sol system, Earth. They're putting everything into one final attack, he realized. If we can stop this weapon, we win the war. Captain Chris Evans volunteered to lead the mission to destroy the Dominion's Fist before it could reach Earth. It would require the best pilots and the most advanced ships the Alliance could provide. I've been fighting these aliens for 2 years, Chris said. I know how they think, I know how to beat them. The final battle was coming. Everything the Alliance had learned, everything they had built, everything they had sacrificed would be tested in the space around humanity's home world. But Jake wasn't worried. He had seen what humans could do when they were fighting for their freedom. He had seen what happened when different species worked together instead of against each other. The Council had ruled the galaxy for 3,000 years through fear and division. The Alliance had learned to fight through courage and unity. Soon the galaxy would see which philosophy was stronger. The massive shape of the Dominion's Fist filled the view screen as it approached Earth's solar system. The Council's ultimate weapon was bigger than anything humans had ever seen in space. It looked like a metal mountain with thousands of weapon ports covering its surface. Admiral Jake Harrison watched from the bridge of his flagship as the greatest fleet in galactic history prepared for battle. Ships from 20 different species surrounded Earth, ready to defend humanity's homeworld. Alliance forces, this is Admiral Harrison, Jake broadcast. That thing coming toward us represents everything we've been fighting against. Today we end 3,000 years of tyranny. Captain Chris Evans commanded the lead attack squadron in his ship, the EDF Defiant. His mission was the most dangerous. Get close enough to the superweapon to plant the special bombs that Dr. Elena Martinez had designed. Remember the plan, Chris told his pilots. We're not trying to destroy that monster with brute force. We're going to make it destroy itself. The battle began when the Dominion's Fist opened fire. Beams of energy that could slice planets in half reached out toward the Alliance fleet. But the Alliance ships didn't meet the attack head-on like the Council expected. Instead, they scattered in all directions. Human destroyers used their speed to dodge between the energy beams. Karathi cruisers deflected shots with their advanced shields. Zalari scouts vanished into the shadows between planets. They're trying to fight us like a traditional battle, observed Captain Amy Rodriguez from her fighter squadron. They still don't understand how we operate. Admiral Kai Morrison coordinated the fleet's movements from his command ship. Every species fought according to their strengths, but they all worked together toward the same goal. Morganti crystal ships, target their sensor arrays, Morrison ordered. Vorthak boarding teams prepare for insertion. Kalari electronic warfare ships, start jamming their communications. The Dominion's Fist was incredibly powerful, but it was also incredibly complicated. It required perfect coordination between thousands of different systems. The Alliance plan was to disrupt that coordination. Dr. Martinez watched the battle from Earth's command center, monitoring her special weapon. She had discovered that the superweapon's power source was also its greatest weakness. The Dominion's fist gets its energy from a controlled quantum reaction, she explained to Jake over the radio. If we can destabilize that reaction, the weapon will tear itself apart from the inside. Captain Laura Stone led the engineering attack on the superweapon's hull. Her team included mechanics and technicians from 8 different species. They had practiced this mission 100 times, cutting through the outer armor now, Laura reported as her ship's tools carved a hole in the massive vessel's hull. Defense systems are exactly where we expected. The Council had built their ultimate weapon using traditional thinking. Every system was heavily protected, but only against the kinds of attacks they had seen before. They hadn't prepared for humans, who thought differently. Commander Zara Phillips led a boarding party into the heart of the Dominion's fist. Her team moved through corridors that were designed for giant alien creatures, not human-sized infiltrators. The control center is half a mile ahead, Zara whispered into her communicator. Council security forces are everywhere, but they're guarding the main approaches. They don't expect us to come through the maintenance tunnels. Inside the super weapons command center, Elder Zethkar himself was directing the battle. The ancient alien creature had never personally commanded a battle before. For 3,000 years, the Council had won through intimidation, not combat. Fire all weapons at the human homeworld, Zethkar ordered. End this rebellion once and for all. But the superweapons targeting systems weren't responding properly. Kalari electronic warfare specialists had infiltrated the computer networks. Every time the Council tried to aim at Earth, the targeting computers showed different coordinates. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Davis was the Alliance's best computer expert. She had learned to combine human programming techniques with alien artificial intelligence systems. Now she was uploading a virus into the Dominion's Fist's central computer. The virus is designed to create logical contradictions, Sarah explained to her team. Council artificial intelligence can't handle conflicting orders. It will try to follow both commands at the same time and end up following neither. The virus worked exactly as planned. Throughout the superweapon, automated systems began receiving contradictory instructions. Life support systems tried to heat and cool the same areas simultaneously. Weapon systems tried to fire at multiple targets at once. Captain Nina Brooks fought her way through the superweapons corridors, leading a rescue mission for Alliance prisoners. The Council had captured several key Alliance officers and was holding them aboard the Dominion's Fist. Found them, Nina reported as she blasted open a detention cell. They're alive, but we need to move fast. The rescued prisoners included Agent Dale Price and several alien resistance leaders. Their knowledge of Council security systems helped. The boarding teams moved more quickly through the massive vessel. Elder Zethkar realized his perfect weapon was falling apart around him. Systems failed throughout the ship. His own officers were reporting problems they had never seen before. How is this possible? The Elder demanded. This weapon was built using the combined knowledge of 40 species. One of his subordinates, a nervous creature that looked like a walking tree, provided the answer. The humans fight differently than any species we have encountered. They do not follow logical patterns. For the first time in his 1,000-year life, Elder Zethkar felt something he had never experienced before. Fear. Dr. Martinez's quantum destabilizer was finally in position. Captain Evans had successfully planted the device deep inside the super weapons power core. Activating destabilizer now, Chris reported. All Alliance forces get clear of the target. The Dominion's Fist began to shake as its power source became unstable. Energy readings spiked beyond safe levels. The weapon that was supposed to destroy planets was about to destroy itself. This is Elder Zethkar to all Alliance forces, came an unexpected transmission. I wish to discuss terms of surrender. Jake was surprised. In all his years of fighting, he had never heard a Council leader admit defeat. What terms? Jake replied. Complete withdrawal from your territory, recognition of your independence, and end to hostilities. Not good enough, Jake said firmly. We're not just fighting for Earth's freedom, we're fighting for everyone's freedom. There was a long pause. Then Elder Zethkar spoke again, his voice filled with something that sounded like resignation. What do you want? Dissolution of the Council, freedom for all species, a new government where everyone has a voice. The Dominion's fist exploded in a brilliant flash of light that could be seen from Earth. The Council's ultimate weapon was gone, and with it, their last hope of maintaining control through fear. President Mitchell stood before the newly formed Galactic Senate 6 months later. Representatives from 57 species had gathered to create a new form of government for the galaxy. We learned something important during this war, President Mitchell said. Diversity makes us stronger. When different species work together, they can accomplish things that seemed impossible. Admiral Harrison was elected as the first Supreme Commander of the Alliance Defense Force. His job was to make sure no single species could ever again dominate the galaxy the way the Council had. Dr. Johnson established the Interspecies Research Institute, where scientists from dozens of worlds worked together to push the boundaries of knowledge. The rapid innovation that had once terrified the Council now benefited everyone. Captain Rodriguez, now promoted to Admiral, commanded the new exploration fleets that were mapping previously unknown regions of the galaxy. Everywhere they went, they found species eager to join the Alliance and share in its freedom. The war was over, but Jake knew that the real work was just beginning. Building a peaceful galaxy would be harder than winning the war had been. It would require patience, wisdom, and the same spirit of cooperation that had made victory possible. He stood on the observation deck of the Alliance headquarters, looking out at ships from dozens of different worlds docked together in harmony. Human vessels sat alongside Karathi cruisers, Zalari scouts, and Morganti crystal ships. A young ensign approached him, a Vorthak who had graduated from one of the joint training academies. "Admiral, what happens now?" the ensign asked. Jake smiled, remembering when he had been young and uncertain about the future. "Now we explore, we learn, we grow, and we make sure that every species in the galaxy has the chance to reach for the stars." The galaxy was free, and its greatest adventures were just beginning.